What if the next world war isn't fought with bombs, but with trade deals, tech chips, and TikTok? 2 superpowers, 2 visions, 1 planet. As the United States and China lock horns across diplomacy, economics, and digital warfare, the question isn't just who's stronger, it's who will shape the future of the world. This isn't the Cold War redux. It's hotter, faster, and global. While America holds on to its decades-old dominance, China rises with strategic patience, vast infrastructure, and an alternative worldview. Every deal, every base, every bite is part of a massive geopolitical chessboard. This is no longer a distant rivalry. It's a battle unfolding in your phone, your wallet, your social feed. So, who really holds the keys to the future? Let's dive into the defining struggle of the 21st century. USA versus China. Who will rule the world? Whoever controls the global economy controls the rules of the game. For decades, the US dollar has been the king, the world's reserve currency, dominating oil trade, international loans, and global markets. But China is rewriting the script. With its Belt and Road Initiative, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and digital yuan experiments, Beijing is pushing for a multipolar monetary future. From Africa to Latin America, nations are now signing deals in yuan. The dollar still dominates, but the cracks are forming. If trade shifts and trust in the dollar wanes, America's economic grip may loosen. This is not just about currency. It's about influence, leverage, and survival in a debt-driven world. In this battle, numbers matter, but confidence matters more. The U.S. military spans the globe, with over 700 bases and unmatched naval power. Its aircraft carriers are floating fortresses, symbols of reach and response. But China has adopted a different playbook. Rather than spread wide, it's built tight, with missile defense systems, anti-ship weapons, and regional dominance strategies. In the South China Sea, artificial islands bristle with radar and runways. Taiwan becomes a powder keg, where both powers draw red lines. The U.S. bets on presence, China bets on proximity. It's not just about who has more weapons, it's who can win without firing. Military reach today is as much about cyber capabilities and hypersonics as boots on the ground. And the world watches, holding its breath. In today's world, tech is the new territory. Whoever leads in AI, quantum computing, and 5G will shape how humanity lives, works, and thinks. America has Silicon Valley, home to Google, Apple, Microsoft, OpenAI. But China counters with Shenzhen, the city where factories meet futurism. Companies like Huawei, ByteDance, and Alibaba now influence how the world communicates, consumes, and creates. This isn't just a race for innovation, it's a race for dominance in digital infrastructure. US bans, chip wars, data sovereignty, all are weapons in this shadow conflict. Surveillance, censorship, algorithmic influence, these are the new front lines. In the battle of code versus code, the question is, who controls the server and who gets served? Power isn't always about armies and trade. Sometimes it's about dreams. The U.S. has dominated global culture for decades. Hollywood, Netflix, hip-hop, Harvard, Coca-Cola, its values wrapped in entertainment, branding, and ideals. But China is rising here too. Through Confucius Institutes, state media, and massive investments in global storytelling, Beijing is crafting a new narrative. African students are learning Mandarin. Asian governments are tuning into CGTN. It's not just about whose movies you watch, it's whose values you absorb. Soft power shapes identity. In this invisible war, influence flows through language, education, fashion, and apps. The question becomes, who tells the story of tomorrow? No empire stands alone. The U.S. commands a vast web of allies, NATO in Europe, the Five Eyes in intelligence, defense pacts in Asia-Pacific. It has soft leverage too, IMF, World Bank, WTO. China's model is different. Bilateral deals, infrastructure for loyalty, no questions asked diplomacy. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, ports and railways become geopolitical anchors. In Africa, Southeast Asia, and even parts of Europe, countries are choosing China's model. Development without lectures. But alliances are fragile. America's traditional partners sometimes waver. China's partners question trust. The world is being courted by two suitors, and every handshake signals alignment. In this chessboard of alliances, loyalty is currency. Forget bombs. The most dangerous weapons today are algorithms and spyware. The U.S. pioneered the Internet, but China reshaped it. From the Great Firewall to facial recognition grids, Beijing controls its cyberspace with precision. But Washington isn't innocent. NSA leaks, mass data harvesting, and online surveillance programs have shown the dark side of free Internet. TikTok bans, Huawei blacklists, cyber attacks, and data leaks. These are battles we don't see but live through. Who watches your screen? Who decides what you see? In this war, it's not borders that matter, it's bandwidth. And the front line? Your phone. In the tug-of-war between the U.S. and China, much of the world isn't fighting, they're choosing. Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, once passive players, are now the battleground of influence. America offers democracy, aid, and military partnerships, often tied to conditions. China offers infrastructure, fast cash, and a no-interference policy. For many, the choice isn't about ideology, it's about survival. Roads, power grids, and 5G networks matter more than lectures on freedom. But at what cost? Dependency shifts, debts grow, and sovereignty becomes a bargaining chip. The Global South isn't just reacting anymore, it's negotiating. And in this great game, neutrality is becoming its own form of power. He who controls the story controls the mind. American media giants, CNN, NYT, Netflix, YouTube, dominate global narratives. But China is building its own empire of information. Through CGTN, TikTok, and digital diplomacy, Beijing exports its version of events. In authoritarian states, it finds eager partners. In democracies, it navigates legal loopholes. Propaganda isn't shouting anymore. It's subtle, algorithmic, and addictive. Meanwhile, U.S. media is accused of bias, misinformation, and imperial framing. The question isn't just what is true, it's whose truth gets told. In this world war of perception, journalists are foot soldiers, headlines are weapons, and silence, sometimes the loudest strategy. The term Cold War echoes through headlines, but this one is different. No Berlin Wall, no nuclear standoffs yet. Instead, it's fought with trade wars, cyber attacks, tech sanctions, space competition, and ideological jabs. America seeks to preserve a unipolar world. China pushes for a reshaped global order. Old alliances fray, new ones emerge. The battlefield is everywhere: space, sea, cloud, and classroom. Is it Cold War 2.0 or something entirely new? One thing is certain: competition is the new constant. And while missiles may not fly, the consequences are just as global and just as dangerous. Tariffs are the new tanks. In the modern age, economics have become weapons, and both the U.S. and China know how to fire them. From steel to semiconductors, soybeans to solar panels, products are no longer just trade items. They're leverage points. The U.S. imposes sanctions. China retaliates with restrictions. Multinational corporations get caught in the crossfire. Consumers feel the ripple effects. Supply chains fragment. Prices rise. Innovation slows. What once was a flat world of free trade is now a minefield. This isn't protectionism, it's power play. And behind every embargo is a political message. Comply or pay. In this war, borders aren't closed, but trust is. First, it was the moon. Now, it's Mars, satellites, and beyond. The space race isn't just about science. It's about supremacy. The U.S. has NASA, SpaceX, and decades of aerospace dominance. China has lunar landers, independent space stations, and bold ambition. But the battleground isn't only outer space. It's orbital control. GPS, satellite internet, surveillance from above. Whoever commands the sky commands the ground. China's Beidou and America's GPS now compete not just for users, but for loyalty. Space is the new high ground in the geopolitical chessboard. The stars may seem peaceful, but the competition to reach them is anything but. No issue burns brighter between the U.S. and China than Taiwan. To America, it's a democratic ally and key to Indo-Pacific strategy. To China, it's a breakaway province, non-negotiable. Military drills, arms sales, diplomatic visits, every move raises tension. For decades, ambiguity kept the peace. But now, clarity threatens it. A blockade, an invasion, a spark by accident? The world watches nervously. Taiwan isn't just a dot on the map. It's a symbol of sovereignty, of defiance, of where rhetoric could ignite reality. If a true U.S.-China war ever erupts, it may start here, in the waters of the Taiwan Strait. Beyond economics and weapons lies a deeper contest, a clash of political systems. The U.S. champions liberal democracy, free elections, civil rights. China upholds centralized control, one-party rule, and a model it calls efficiency over chaos. Each side believes its system works best and wants others to follow. In Africa and Asia, countries study China's fast development and ask, is democracy the only path? Meanwhile, protests in Hong Kong and repression in Xinjiang raise alarms about China's methods. The U.S., too, faces questions about polarization, inequality, and broken promises. The ideological battle isn't just about governance, it's about legitimacy. Whose system delivers? Whose vision inspires? And in a world craving stability, who sets the example? Numbers don't lie, but they don't tell the whole truth either. America still leads in nominal GDP, global influence, and military spending. China leads in manufacturing output, population, trade partnerships, and tech adoption. Universities, patents, global companies, innovation indexes, the scoreboard shifts every year. But winning isn't just about metrics, it's about momentum. China grows, expands, builds. America adapts, recalibrates, pushes back. Both are resilient, both are ambitious. But the world isn't waiting, it's watching. Because this isn't a boxing match with a final round, it's a marathon. And who's ahead depends on where you stand and what you value. The next 2 decades will decide more than who leads. They'll define how the world is led. Will we see a bipolar order where the U.S. and China balance each other? A multipolar world with India, the EU, and others rising? Or a fragmented chaos where no power truly leads? Climate crisis, AI disruption, pandemics, Global challenges need global solutions. Cooperation may be the only path forward. But can two rivals obsessed with dominance truly collaborate? Or will fear keep fueling the fire? Empires rise and fall, but influence, real, sustainable influence, comes from trust, not just might. The future isn't written yet, but its pen is already in motion.